Imagine a woman so obsessed with youth and beauty that she'd do anything to keep it. Picture her in a grand castle, surrounded by opulence, yet consumed by a singular dark desire. Her name whispered in fear and awe, her actions cloaked in mystery and horror. Now imagine her wading into a bath not filled with water but with the blood of young girls. This gruesome ritual, believed to preserve her youth, paints a macabre picture of vanity taken to monstrous extremes. The very thought sends shivers down the spine, a chilling testament to the lengths she would go. This isn't a scene from a horror film, it's a dark chapter from history, shrouded in both fact and legend. The corridors of her castle echo with the whispers of her deeds, each shadow hiding a tale of terror. The line between myth and reality blurs, leaving us to wonder what truly happened within those walls. This is the alleged reality of Elizabeth Báthory, the Blood Countess. A noblewoman of immense power and influence, her name has become synonymous with cruelty and bloodlust. Her legacy is one of fear, a story passed down through generations, each retelling more horrifying than the last. Her story is a chilling cocktail of nobility, madness, and unspeakable cruelty. Born into a powerful family, Elizabeth's life was one of privilege and power. Yet, beneath the surface, a darker side emerged, one that would leave an indelible mark on history. Her actions, driven by a twisted sense of vanity and power, have made her one of history's most infamous figures. It's a tale that has haunted the Carpathian Mountains for centuries. The misty peaks and ancient forests seem to hold on to her story, a ghostly presence that refuses to fade. Locals still speak of her with a mix of fear and fascination, her legend woven into the very fabric of the land, and it's a story that continues to fascinate and horrify us to this day. From books to films, her tale is retold, each version adding new layers to her dark legacy. We are drawn to her story, not just for its horror, but for what it reveals about the human condition. The Blood Countess remains a figure of endless intrigue, a reminder of the darkness that can lurk within us all. Elizabeth Báthory was born into privilege in 1560. Her family was one of the most powerful and influential in Hungary. They had castles, land, and wealth beyond measure. Elizabeth grew up surrounded by luxury. She had the finest clothes, the most exquisite jewels, and a life free from worry. But beneath this opulent surface, darkness lurked. There were whispers of a family history tainted by madness and cruelty. And these whispers would soon turn into screams. Elizabeth married young to Ferenc Nadasdy, a powerful warlord. They lived in Cheta Castle, a forbidding fortress perched high on a rocky crag. It was here, within the castle's cold stone walls, that the whispers about Elizabeth began. At first they were just that, whispers. Servants spoke in hushed tones of strange occurrences. They mentioned missing girls from the nearby villages, and they talked of blood-curdling screams echoing through the castle at night. As the years passed, the whispers grew louder, bolder. They spoke of Elizabeth's insatiable vanity. They told of her obsession with preserving her youthful beauty, and they detailed her increasingly bizarre and cruel methods. It's said she'd prick her servants with needles just to see them bleed. She'd burn them with hot irons, delighting in their agony. The castle, once a symbol of power, became a house of horrors. The most disturbing allegations against Elizabeth Báthory center around a horrific ritual. It was whispered that she believed bathing in the blood of virgins would keep her young and beautiful. Young peasant girls were lured to the castle with promises of work and a better life. But instead of finding employment, they found a gruesome death. They were tortured, mutilated, and drained of their blood, which, according to legend, filled the Countess's bathtub. Section 6. The Blood of Innocence. This chapter delves into the dark and twisted tale of Countess Elizabeth Báthory, a noblewoman whose name became synonymous with terror and bloodshed. The exact number of Elizabeth's victims is unknown. Her reign of terror left a chilling mark on history, shrouded in mystery and fear. Some accounts claim she murdered hundreds of young women. These young women, often lured to the castle with promises of work or education, met a gruesome fate. The castle staff, complicit in her crimes, helped her dispose of the bodies. They were bound by fear and loyalty, ensuring the Countess's dark secrets remained hidden. They were buried in unmarked graves, hidden away from prying eyes. The forest became a silent witness to the atrocities committed within the castle walls. Dumped in the castle well, where the darkness swallowed their remains, erasing any trace of their existence, or simply left for the wolves in the surrounding forests. The wilderness, indifferent to human suffering, became a graveyard for the innocent. The reign of terror continued for years. The villagers lived in constant fear, their lives overshadowed by the looming presence of the Countess's castle. Nobody dared to challenge the powerful Countess. Her influence and wealth made her untouchable, a figure of dread and authority. Who would believe the word of peasants over a noble woman? The social hierarchy of the time ensured that her crimes went unpunished for far too long, leaving a legacy of horror that still echoes through history. Section 7. Justice of a Sort. In 1610, Elizabeth's reign of terror finally came to an end. Her cousin, György III, the Palatine of Hungary, ordered an investigation. What they found inside Szekely Castle shocked even the most hardened men. There were dead and dying girls, their bodies bearing witness to unimaginable cruelty. There were instruments of torture, stained with blood and hair, and there were records, kept by Elizabeth herself, detailing her gruesome acts. Section 8. A Legacy of Horror. Elizabeth Báthory was never given a public trial. Her family's influence was too strong. Instead, she was placed under house arrest in Szekely Castle. She remained there, walled up in a room, until her death 4 years later. But while her physical body was imprisoned, her legend grew. She became known as the Blood Countess, a monster who preyed on the innocent to satisfy her own vanity. Section 9. The Blood Countess in popular culture. Today, centuries after her death, Elizabeth Báthory's story continues to fascinate and horrify. Known as the Blood Countess, her legend has permeated various facets of popular culture, leaving an indelible mark on literature, cinema, and art. Her tale is not just a historical account, but a narrative that has been reimagined and retold countless times, each version adding new layers to her dark mystique. She has inspired countless books, films, and works of art. From Gothic novels that delve into her supposed vampiric tendencies to horror films that dramatize her gruesome acts, Elizabeth Báthory has become a symbol of ultimate evil. Her story has been adapted into various genres, from historical dramas to supernatural thrillers, each exploring different aspects of her life and the myths surrounding her. Her tale is a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath a veneer of beauty and power. Artists and writers have often portrayed her as a complex character, blending her real-life atrocities with fictional elements to create a figure that is both fascinating and terrifying. This duality makes her a compelling subject for creative exploration, allowing audiences to grapple with themes of power, corruption, and the human capacity for evil. And it serves as a chilling testament to the enduring power of our darkest fears. The legend of Elizabeth Báthory taps into primal fears about blood, death, and the supernatural. Her story has been used to explore the boundaries between myth and reality, often blurring the lines to create a narrative that is as intriguing as it is horrifying. This has ensured her place in the annals of horror and dark fantasy, where she continues to captivate and terrify new generations. The Blood Countess may be gone, but her legend, like a bloodstain on the fabric of history, remains impossible to erase. Her story is a testament to the power of narrative and the ways in which history and legend can intertwine to create a figure that transcends time. As long as there are stories to be told and fears to be explored, the legend of Elizabeth Báthory will continue to haunt the collective imagination.